Ever sent a nude to the wrong person? What happened? How did they respond? Story 1. Sent a dong pic to my family WhatsApp group instead of my girlfriend who requested it. I got a lot of laughs from my sisters, a well done from my father and not a single word from my mother who to this day denies it happened. It was a horrible experience. Story 2. Not a nude but I accidentally sexted my boss thinking I was talking to my husband. He sent back, "I don't think this was meant for me." I sent him the biggest apology ever and we never spoke about it ever. Story 3. I was meaning to text my boyfriend the picture, but must have still been in the iMessage chat to my dad at the time, and sent it without checking. Seeing that the nude had been texted to my dad, I immediately called him. I was going to ask him to delete the pictures, and that they were inappropriate and were supposed to go to my boyfriend. That way he wouldn't see the images themselves. He would just know I had taken nudes. Somehow, by the grace of God, my sister answered his phone, as she was living at home at the time. I begged her for help, and she was able to delete the images off his phone. My dad never knew the incident ever occurred. I asked my sister how I could repay her, and she asked me to never ever bring it up again. I owe her one, eternally. Story 4. Sent to the wrong person. No. Posted to my Facebook feed. Yes. Few family members unfriended me, got a few DMs asking did I realize what I did, 2 DMs asking if I had more, not family, before you ask. Story 5. When Instagram first came out, like before I had ever even heard anyone talking about it, I thought it was a new photo editing app that let you put cool filters on your phone pictures and kept a little album for you, like any normal photo editing app would do. Keep in mind back then there wasn't really social media centered around pictures so I had no concept of that. I took some nudes on there and put little filters on them and stuff and sent them to a boyfriend, then didn't think of it again. Months later I get a text from a, very kind, ex saying, "Did you know your cute little boobies are on Instagram and everyone can see them?" I was mortified ddd lol. Apparently he could find my profile because it recommended it via contacts or something, which I also had no concept of at that time. Not many socials did that back then. So I have no idea how many people saw those pictures. Oops. To add insult to injury I wasn't signed into the account anymore so I was desperately trying to remember what email and password would get me in. Story 6. I was 26 at the time. Just shaved my junk. It was looking mighty presentable, so I decided the GF needed to see. I mistakenly sent it to my older brother. He replied with, "I don't think that was meant for me." I died a little inside. It was never spoken of again. Story 7. I did once some years back. I, female, sent a snap to, female coworker. I had absolutely no idea until I got a snap from her telling me I looked nice and asked if she was supposed to return the favor. Told her it was completely up to her but it was an accident. She sent me one back anyways. We left it at that and we would bring it up every once in a while and just giggle about it. Haven't seen her since I left that job but this question definitely brought this memory back lol. Story 8. I accidentally sent one to my best friend. I tapped the wrong contact, and she replied, 1 star out of 5. Story 9. I had 2 name redacteds in my phone didn't have last names added. One was a love interest the other was a good friend. Was a bit tipsy and just kind of clicked and went for it, picked the wrong one. Got some fantastic feedback but they have never let me live it down to this day. It's been 2 years. Story 10. So a friend of mine, female, accidentally sent one to her dad. He then responded with something like, "I know that I have a beautiful daughter, but you should not send me nudes." Very embarrassing for her, but a wholesome response from the father. Story 11. Not me but my wife. She has sent a very explicit nude of hers to her mother instead of me. End result, "Masala, you're beautiful," was response from my mother-in-law, then similar responses from her sisters and sisters-in-law because yeah, her mother forwarded it. Story 12. My high school boyfriend's best friend sent me a dong pic. He was a great guy so I was horrified and I just sent back, WTF. He apologized profusely and said another girl whose name started with my same letter was supposed to get it but he hit my contact instead. I didn't tell my BF for ages because I was so weirded out and when I finally did he was like, "Yeah I know, my friend told me immediately after it happened, I was just waiting to see how long it took you to tell me." So, kinda funny. Story 13. My bestie is a chick. She was dating a guy who had the same name as me. She came home blind drunk one night while her partner was intestate with work, and sent me the nude that was meant for him. We are pretty tight and before I could reply with, "Nice," she messaged me via text saying, "F-word sorry man but if it's anyone seeing me without my gear on I'm glad it's you." I was touched that she was so cool with it, so I wrote back, "Nice tits mate." We still laugh about it today. Story 14. A couple of years ago my actual girlfriend was on vacation with her family and sent a picture of her naked to my sister, instead of me, by mistake. I remember I was at a friend's party and suddenly received a text from my sister saying she had finally gathered the courage to tell me she was sorry for secretly having sex with my GF for a while and that she had taken a picture for proof, attaching it to the message. I was slightly stoned but enough to believe to everything, for hours, until I realized the picture was a selfie taken in front of a mirror. Story 15. Happened with one of my exes. She got a new phone and was updating her contacts. She chose my dong pic as her temporary profile pic for when I called. I was at work while she was getting her gallbladder taken out. Started to worry because she should have been in post-op and almost discharged by then. So I kept calling and it would ring twice then straight to voicemail. Redial. Ring once, straight to voicemail. Redial 2 more times. Straight to voicemail. Turns out her mom had her belongings and my angry boner kept saying hello, up close and personal, over and over. Family dinners were awkward for a while after that. Story 16. My friend accidentally sent his nude to his ex. He wanted to send it to his date. 2 things happened. 1. He got back together with her, they got married and are happy. The date was sleeping with other dudes. Story 17. This was when email was still fairly new. I sent it to a guy friend. He saw immediately what had happened. I was dating a mutual friend with the same first name as him and what I wrote with the picture made it clear. He quickly deleted it and then sent me a note telling me what had happened. Not that I ever mind naked pictures, but, wink emoji. So, everything was good, except it wasn't. It was horrible. Because he didn't send me that note, he sent it to a business acquaintance with the same first name as me. Ended up being much worse for him. I ended up calling her. Story 18. I once accidentally sent a picture a girlfriend took of her on top of me riding. It showed my tattoo and her body. To my dad. I didn't know she took the picture. I hope he didn't keep it. Story 19. I accidentally posted a video of me masturbating and moaning to my Snapchat story at 3 AM instead of to just the one person I was sexting. For some reason one of my friends was awake at that time besides the person I was sexting and they saw it. You were disgusting, she told me and then removed me from Snapchat. Luckily this was after we worked together, but I feel like most people would understand that it was not on purpose. I promptly removed it from my story after she messaged me. Unfortunately for the person I was sexting, I was too embarrassed to do any more sexting that night after that. Story 20. Sent it to the wrong person with the same name. Immediately followed by thousands of sorries. She already screenshotted it and sent it to a few friends unfortunately. One part of me was incredibly ashamed, the other part didn't give a S-word because my penis looks fine. Story 21. Not a nude, but I accidentally sent a very explicit sex paragraph to one of my close girlfriends instead of my partner before Snapchat had the ability to delete messages, so I was forced to just let it happen. I sat with a pounding heart after spam texting not to read it and just swipe out. She read it, and then told me improvements I can make on my wording. Tried my best to awkwardly laugh it off. BC she didn't give a F, but God was it embarrassing. Story 22. Not a nude, but I once had a boss ask to see a pic of my kids and when I pulled up my photos first thing that popped up was me in bra and underwear for my weight loss progress pics I would take monthly. That was awkward. We didn't say a word, both acted like it didn't happen. Story 23. Yes. Gave me advice on better angles and said, at least yours has a nice look. Still no clue what she meant. Story 24. Sent one to my ex-boyfriend's gay roommate instead of him on accident. He just responded with, not my cup of tea, but go off queen. And proceeded to take me underwear shopping because he said I should get a matching bra and panty set. Story 25. Not quite a nude, but my mother, in her early 60s, took a selfie of herself in a French maid outfit, which was an apron and nothing else except her waving around a feather duster. She meant to send it to Al, her husband, but accidentally sent it, all. Including my husband, myself, our daughters, my in-laws, and every single person in her extensive contact list. My husband, who has played lawn bowls since he was 19, rang and said, WTF has your mother done? I had no idea as I don't bother much with my phone. He said he was at afternoon tea when this photo of her in a ducking apron and feather duster arrived. I said I'm really sorry, I'll call her. He said, forget it. All the old blokes at the bowls club want her number. Story 26. I have a mole on my penis and I was supposed to send it to my girlfriend at the time, but I accidentally sent it to my best mate who ended up opening it in front of his mum. He had to explain to her it was all an accident, but I don't think she was ever convinced. Story 27. The dads in my neighborhood have a WhatsApp group for talking about school events, camping trips, volunteering, community events, and drinking at the local bar. Imagine 40 middle-aged dudes who live within 10 blocks who are acquaintances having amiable small talk and sometimes request for support for some effort or another. One dad sent a video to the entire group, which includes all of his neighbors, of himself talking dirty, taking his pants off and jerking it. He promptly left the group. Lol. Story 28. My uncle put a dong pic on FB. First thing I saw when I opened FB that morning. My mum, his sister, commented about it not being the right place for that type of pic. Still horrifies me that I saw it, but my mum commenting horrified me more. Story 29. Drunk with friends. Friends convinced me to send a pic to a girl I was into. Drunk me mistyped phone number. Mystery guy sends his own pic back. Story 30. I was the recipient of a nude from my college friend's mom. Since she's a bit unpredictable and narcissistic, I'm still not sure if she sent it on purpose or not, even though she claimed it was an accident. Seemed a little hard to make than an accident, and she knew I had recently come out as a lesbian. Suspicious. Story 31. I had a student, university 20-year-old, email me very explicit nudes. She actually sent 3 in a row. Full front, rear, and one very intimate close-up of her. You know. These photos were meant for her boyfriend. I share the same first name as her BF and she messed up the email. Her nude email was immediately followed up by her complete embarrassment email. She did not handle it very well at all, emotionally. I called HR, my chair, and the dean, all 3 were female. I simply explained what happened. We all had a meeting with the student. I refused to show anybody the photos. I deleted them, permanently, and moved on. The student unfortunately had a hard time with it and we did a rare mid-semester transfer to another professor. I understood completely and assisted any way I could. I ended up having her in a graduate level course a couple years later and was part of her doctorate committee. Story 32. I was the wrong number the nude was sent to. I told him he had the wrong number and then he said, "If you're a girl, do you mind sending a pic back?" I told him not to contact me ever again. After a quick Google of his number I found him on Facebook, married with kids. Story 33. I accidentally posted a tit pic in my Snap story instead of one person. And it was like 9 AM lol. I had recently added a tattoo artist who I was really impressed with and I had an APPT months out for a consult for my first tattoo. He replied, "Well, good morning to you too." And I thought I would die. I deleted it and had my friend check it was gone on her end. But then I ended up being pretty friendly with this artist I admired cause we both ended up joking about it and he still does my ink like 6 to 7 years later and I don't even remember who I was trying to send it to in the first place lol, so that worked out. Thank you for watching.